Sarande from Albania. That means hello. We haven't learned much more than that yet, but we're working on it. Most people here speak English, so it's been pretty easy to adapt, but it's always nice to start out getting to know a country with a few of the words that you're going to use most often. I'm out here on our beautiful balcony, and Sarande, Albania is located in the Balkans. It is just south of Montenegro and just north of Greece. So we got here by flying from Bergamo, Italy into Corfu, and then we caught a ferry from Corfu over to Sarande. So it was quite a journey, but it was a beautiful one. The ride over, the ferry ride that we took from Corfu over here was absolutely stunning. We were lucky because it was right as sunset. The sun was setting right at the perfect time. So let me show you what that trip looked like. Once we got to Sarande, we decided that we could probably walk to our Airbnb, so instead of getting a taxi. So we set off with our suitcases along the streets and found our way here. It wasn't too bad of a walk, but if you're planning on coming here, just remember that some places are lower, and as you can see behind me, it starts going up in elevation. So if you are planning on dragging a suitcase with you along, make sure that you're not higher up, because that might be a little bit of a challenge. We've actually been here now for a couple of weeks, but you may have already noticed that my voice sounds a little bit off, and that's because unfortunately I got sick, and oh, there's our friendly neighborhood rooster. If you can hear that, you might hear that in the background from time to time. Anyway, I got sick unfortunately when we kind of hadn't been here long, so I was able to get to a doctor. I'll show you what the clinic looks like here. And we went in there. They brought in an English-speaking doctor from another clinic, and it was all very nice. They gave me a lot of medication to get me better, but it was very, very easy, and they were very warm and welcoming in there. And I'm on the mend now, which is all that matters. So as I said, we've already been here for a couple of weeks. Before I started getting sick, we went and joined a gym, and it is the views at this gym are the most unbelievable views that I've ever been able to see as I'm working out. So that's a big, big bonus. It makes you want to go to the gym and work out. The only thing is, it's not really air conditioned in there, so we try to get there kind of first thing in the morning before the heat sets in and before other warm bodies come in and make it just really, really hot in there. But it is nice again. We always keep up our healthy habits while we're on the road. So it's nice to have a place to work out while we're on the road. We've also been trying out some of the local restaurants. A lot of the food here is kind of a lot of the same thing in every restaurant. It all says traditional food, and it is delicious, but it does start getting a little repetitive after a while. I made a post on my Instagram the other day and I said, another day in Albania, another Greek salad, which I'm not complaining. I love Greek salad, but it's just different. You know, there isn't a huge variety of things. It's also a little bit harder for me because I have to find gluten-free, so I take that into account, that a lot of things are out there, I just can't eat them. But I'll show you some of the food and the dinner that we have been enjoying while we're here so far. Grocery stores here in Albania are really, really different than what we're used to. Again, all different types of products and things, and thank God for Google Translator, because everything's either in Italian, Greek, or Albanian. So we've been using Google Translate a lot on the packages to see the ingredients inside or what type of meat it is, things like that. For example, there are things that we're used to getting at home that we can't get here. I was going to say, for example, when I got sick, you know, you want your comfort food, so you want some soup. Well, we couldn't find any soup here. We could find like the cubes to make like a stock, but no actual, you know, good old can of Campbell's or anything like that. But it's good because it makes you kind of get a little more creative with what you're going to make every night for dinner. James is the cook in our household, so he's been making up some different dishes. He's been trying to learn a few of the more native dishes to here and to make those, which is always kind of a neat and delicious challenge, because I get to benefit from that and eat them. So yeah, that's been it's always fun to go in a grocery store in a different country, because everything is so completely different, and they have different products and different treats and things. For my gluten-free friends, again, really not much in the grocery stores here for gluten-free. You can get gluten-free pasta. There's a lot of gluten-free pasta, so I've been having a lot of that. But if you're looking for crackers, cookies, you know, all those kind of like gluten-free bread, anything like that, definitely not available in a regular grocery store. We did pass by like an organic type of tiny little grocery store the other day, and I peeked in the door and I believe I saw some Char products in there, so I might go back and check that out at a later time. But for now, I've just been having some rice cakes and things like that if I want a little treat. So just something to keep in mind. A lot of times when you're traveling, you cannot get what you're used to getting at home, no matter what country you're from. But that's all part of the adventure and trying new things, and a lot of times it pushes you to try different products and different things you might not necessarily would have tried when you were at home. Find really entertaining here is the traffic. So the main road that's right out front of our condo is a one-lane road, and for the longest time I just assumed it was a one-way road, and it didn't even occur to me, maybe because I wasn't feeling well, but it didn't even occur to me, well, hey, wait a minute, there's cars coming in both directions. And so I love sitting and watching because cars will come head on at each other, and then one has to decide what the other one's going to do. So some people reverse up until they can find like a little area to reverse into. Other times they have to go like up on the sidewalk and go around. The other night, a giant, there's our rooster. The other night, a giant coach bus pulled up and just stopped in the middle of the road, and you know, like 75 people had to get off and get all their luggage and everything like that. And so that was interesting because I watched all the cars coming from the other direction and having to try to figure out what they were going to do and turn around, and it was quite entertaining. I also have yet to see a stop sign or any type of traffic sign at all. So yeah, that also goes without saying that when you're crossing the street here, you have to be very, very alert at all times, because a car could be coming at you from either side or on the sidewalk. So again, all these fun things that you get to experience in different countries. Another thing that's different here in Sarande, Albania, are all of the stray cats and dogs. So There are a lot of them. Some look a little bit worse for wear, others you can tell that people have fed them. And for example, there's one that hangs out kind of behind our building a lot, but I think a family down the street kind of maybe like takes care of him. He looks more well fed, and I've seen them sitting outside having dinner and he's sitting there with them. So that's kind of nice to see. But otherwise it can be kind of heartbreaking to see a lot of the other animals here. They're very skinny and kind of little mangy looking, so that is a little bit heartbreaking. It's hard not to try to feed them every time you see them, or but so just something else to keep in mind if you're coming to Sarande and you love animals. You're going to see a lot of cats and dogs. The beautiful thing about Sarande is that you're right on the water, so the views are spectacular, especially in the evenings as the sun is going down. There is a main like promenade, and we live about a 10-minute walk away from there. We're a little bit further off the beaten track, which we like because then we're not in all the craziness and madness, but we like to go down there. It's been so hot during the day, so we've been pretty much working during the day, and then we go out in the evenings when the weather isn't so bad and it's not so hot. So let me take you around and show you a little bit more about this beautiful place called Sarande, Albania. Infrastructure here in Sarande is currently getting a bit of a makeover in a lot of the parts here. For example, they are installing new sidewalks everywhere, which is going to be really nice when it's done. In the meantime, it's a little bit of a minefield when you're trying to walk through it all, because they're actually laying each brick by hand, cutting each stone, laying it all, doing all the cement. So it's kind of a neat thing to see that it's all being done by hand, and it's actually looking really beautiful. But in the meantime, when you're walking along the streets, it can be a little bit tricky because you know, there'll be parts that are done, parts that aren't. There'll be giant piles of bricks just laying there, ready for you to trip over them. They're also putting trees in every so often, so they've dug the holes down, so there could be like a three foot hole in the middle of the sidewalk with nothing in it yet. So you really have to be careful when you're walking. If you're filming, you cannot be looking at your screen and not where your feet are going, because you may end up with a problem there. But so that's a little bit tricky. And then on top of that, because of the landscape here, because it's you know, a lot of hills up and down and really steep inclines, if you have mobility issues, I'd say this probably isn't the best place for you, because you know, a lot of uneven stairs, a lot of hilly inclines. I have to help James up and down with a lot of things because he had knee surgery not that long ago. So it can be a little bit tricky, so just keep that in mind if you're ever planning to visit here. If you have mobility issues, maybe go to a different city. So that's it so far for our time so far here in Sarande. Like I said, unfortunately I've missed out on a little bit of stuff because I have been sick and I haven't really been going out much, but just wanted to kind of give you first impressions of what it's like here. It is absolutely beautiful. The waterfront, the promenade. I also want to say the people here are so incredibly friendly, probably the most friendliest people we've met worldwide so far. Definitely can't beat that. They're always willing to help you and smile and talk to you, so that's really nice. And yeah, I can't wait to see more of this country. I think we're going to do a little trip to see another city so that we have something to compare this area with. And of course I'm going to take you along with me for all of it and keep showing you around Albania.